Welcome back. This is Fox. It's time to start going over my crown falls. I'll quickly say it's not totally done, but the industry side of it is done. So as you can see, there's some blueprint and scholar houses that are going to be built up, and the rest of the gaps are going to be filled in with scholar houses as and when I fill up the other islands. But yeah, for now it is done. The industry side of it is done. This is part one. I'm going to call this Why. Why would you do this? Why would you put all your industry on one island in the Cape, Crown Falls, instead of using it for houses? So, to the best of my ability, I'm going to go through why I chose to do this and why this is definitely the best island to use as a main industrial island. Now, the main reason why for me is because I have managed to fit all of the old world production for my scholars, apart from pigs and the odd grain farm dotted around on some small islands. You can see I've got one pig island here. The odd island here doing veneers. These smaller islands I've used for grain and stuff in the Cape. Everything else, all of the production for my scholars. And in fact, apart from the stuff that I do on island with my investors, which is anything done with glass, the bicycles and the cab production is on this island as well. So as you can see, every other island in the Cape, apart from the one that we just discussed, let's just turn off these notifications quick. So as I said, every island in the Cape, apart from the little ones that I've already shown you, and the Pig Island, is purely for scholars. It's virtually done. Everything over here is filled with scholars. Scholar Island, Scholar Island. Again, grain supplying the scholars, 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 scholars. If we go to the old world, no islands over here. Ignore that. No islands over here are being used for production of any sort, apart from this little one over here, which is for my Arctic hub. I will be changing this around. The only things I'm sending over here really is schnapps. It's being traded at the minute, but I will create a little island for schnapps. Maybe one of these little ones down here that I haven't used. I've got this one here. Could easily use this for schnapps to produce for the Arctic. They are using coal, obviously. Canned food I'm creating loads of, so I can ship that off. They're using coal and wood, but I'm going to be producing enough coal on islands that are used solely for my residents. You can see I've got mines going on all of these to ship that out to the Arctic as well. So every other island, I've got loads of free space still. You can see all these big islands still undone. I've got 3 investor islands. I will need another investor island. The rest is going to be scholars, hopefully. So yeah, as I said, that's the main reason why I would do this. One production island, all your resources pooling into one place. With the introduction of the new Docklands, the advanced loading times, they easily keep up with all the ships that I need. There are literally hundreds of ships coming and going from this. And as of yet, I haven't had one ship wait. If they do, I've got enough space to put piers all the way down here. Obviously, over here, I have enough to get 4 or 5 piers, maybe 6 if I rearrange things. So, transport issues is not going to be a problem with the introduction of the Docklands, obviously, and the wharfs that increase the loading speed. You can see my piers are at 27 tons a second. So, for a full loaded ship with 600 tons, it's going to take 10 seconds, sorry. So, it's nothing. By the time the ship's got in, locked, turn around, 5-6 seconds. When you're on fast speed, it's like 3 seconds and they're away. So that is the main reason. I've fit it all on here. I've got it all on here. I've got telephone production, boot production, suit production, bicycle production, cab production. That pretty much about covers everything that I need for my investors and my scholars. As I said before, my investor islands, the production of everything that uses glass I do on site, and also jewels. So every island's got a coastline. I'm making the champagne I'm getting my gold for free from my mines and my sand mines, so the jewels are being made on site. Got light bulb production, spectacles, yeah, everything that needs glass is being done on the islands with the investors, so I don't need any dedicated islands to do that. So that's the one and main reason. There's enough room here to do all the production that I need, keep everything in one place. Second reason, because of the palace. This is mainly what we're going to be going over today. I've managed to get this palace to maximum efficiency in regards to that there is 33k attractiveness on this island. That means that all of the boosts are at maximum, and you can have all of the boosts affecting all of your industry. If I was to put these telephones, per se, on one island, they can only have one boost because you can only use the palace. So I've got all of the bonuses of these palace, all of the bonuses of the palace affecting every building, or in some way affecting every building. You can see we're going to work our way through them. So how did I get the 33k attractiveness to start with? I suppose we should talk. You need the 33k attractiveness to give you all of the available department boosts and obviously the maximum amount of boost that they give. So for instance, Department of Labour, this is on plus 60 productivity for production. If we were not at 33k attractiveness, this goes down respectively all the way down to like whatever it is. I don't know whether it goes up in 1% increments. I think it does. But yeah, if you get your palace to 33k attractiveness, you get a 60% plus productivity boost for all of any trade union within range of the palace. Because my palace reaches everywhere, because my population is so big, you can see the palace reaches and covers every square inch of this island. All of the trade unions are being affected. I believe there's one this end that is not. You know, look, there's one mine here. This one trade union is just out of range of the palace, but you can't complain at that. I probably could reposition the palace to get that. If I moved the palace to somewhere like this, I probably could have reached that one trade union. But yeah, how do we reach 33k attractiveness? Right, the way I did it is, although this is an industrial island, and I've barely got any houses on it, I've got a few scholar houses dotted at the minute, there will be others. I have full island coverage with town halls. You can see? Well, to the best of my ability. There's a few places where they're missing. I mean, could have squeezed one in here, but I'm not going to argue. Full town hall coverage. Now, what does this mean? This means I've got 60 town halls on this island. And with this boost, the Department of Administration, each of these town halls, with this one chose the Guildhall, that gives me 200 attractiveness. So 200 attractiveness for town halls. If we click on the culture, see, my town halls are giving me 17,610 attractiveness. So that's half of the attractiveness you need to get your palace to maximum just by putting town halls down. I am also boosting these town halls with various items to increase their attractiveness. As you can see, I've got 3 items in each one. This one's given a plus 30, this one a plus 30, this one a plus 50. I could easily upgrade these because there are a lot of items that give plus 40. I can research them. These two here, these two blue ones, I got these from Hugo. I defeated him about 50 hours ago, but before that I was buying these from him. This purple one as well comes from Hugo, plus 40 attractiveness. You can see this one at Town Hall is giving me 330 attractiveness. That's why you should have Hugo in your game if you're doing min-maxing like I am. This one again comes from Hugo, 330 attractiveness. 330 attractiveness. Some of these may be on a little bit more because I've got some higher end ones in here. 340, look, that one's a plus 50. So yeah, a half the amount of attractiveness that you need to get your palace to full is done just from the town halls. Then you can see I'm getting 2,880 from my trade unions. I also have near enough full coverage of trade union. So all of these are generating me attractiveness. We click on one, it's generating me 30. So we're at almost 20,000 attractiveness just by filling the island with town halls and trade unions. Where's the rest coming from? I've got 5,440 from a museum, Palace itself gives 150. Palace wings give 2,000. The Docklands is 525. Could probably increase that. Somebody told me that they all need to be connected by a road. I believe they all are, actually. I'm not too sure. 425, yeah. So it's still a little bit of attractiveness. So brick factories giving me some, the research institute, the zoo, trade unions, museums, 5,000. So you can see it's easy. It's easy to get it up to 33k. I've got a small zoo. This has only got some sets in there that I need. I'm using the Arctic Tundra. This gives it attractiveness and increased chance of visits from up here. I'm using a polar circle. This is affecting my tailor shop, which is creating my suits. That's it at the minute for the zoo. I don't really need any of the other sets, so I've just got those in there for the minute. The museum. There'll be a link in the description to another great YouTuber. His name is Strat Gamer. He's got some really good videos. He plays a lot like me as a min-maxer. He's currently on his Scholar Quest, if you like, as well. He done a really good video that tells you how to optimize your zoos to get the best effect, and it turns out that it makes more sense to use the museum sets that only have 3 items. So I've just started doing this. I'm working my way through it. See, I've got the Ballad of Trelawney, Icebound, Heirlooms of the Gold Realm, Gods of Delta. I've just done the Empire of the Eagle, the New World Whacker. I've still got to do the Origin of Mankind and Skull Bones. When this is done, I will delete the rest of the museum, create another museum, and then do it again. I should be able to shrink the size of this museum down by almost half. Bear with me a sec. I'm just researching things that I will need in the future. So yeah, as I say, link in the description to his channel. This was a very useful tip for me. I will be able to shrink this down by half, and then there'll be more space to even fit in other stuff. If I wanted to move some more, create some more production over here, I've got plans to increase the amount of investors that I'm going to have in this playthrough. I originally started at aiming for 2 million global population. Turns out I'm going to be able to have 2.2 million scholars alone with the production I've got. So I should easily I'm saying I should be able to get to 3 million without too much hassle. So we're still working our way through why you would do this while you would have an industrial island. So yeah, the attractiveness is gained. That means our palace is at full. That means we can have all of these. We've already talked about this one, which I use in the department effect, which is the Guildhall Act, Department of Administration. The main one as well, because you've got so many town halls on this island. Each one of these town halls is giving me 300 island workforce per town hall. You can see at the minute I've got an excess of 822 engineer workforce. This is the main workforce which is driving all these big industries. See, this is engineers. These are artisans. These are artisans. So a lot of these are at 0 workforce, but the main one for me was my telephone factories. A lot of these are clipped. A lot of these are not using a vast amount of workforce. But that being said, my push bikes, these are using workers because I've changed the workforce. These are on 0 workforce. So although I'm using a lot of workforce reductions, I got almost 21,000, I think, 22,000 free workforce from these town halls because of the boost that I've just shown you in the palace. So creating an awful lot of workforce means that if you don't manage to get all the buildings at 0 workforce, which like I didn't, like some of these are at 37, look, I've got an awful lot of these. The ones that are clipped, are at 0. Some of these are, this has got some items missing, which I've just realised. Do I have anything to put in? No, I'll go back and do that. They should have these in, Belkin, press, and a Ferris. That means the ones that are clipped are at 0 workforce, and the ones that aren't are at -37 engineer workforce. So yeah, it's another main reason why you're generating all the workforce that you need on the island for the workforce. I have got no houses anywhere in my entire Old World or Cape, except for this tiny little cluster of engineers here. This is mainly to keep the research institute running. When the Research Institute is done, I'll be about 10,000 over, so I can delete this, and I'll have more space to put more factories or more houses, whatever I want to do. So yeah, that's the only houses I've got in my entire old world and new world, is this little cluster of engineer houses here. The rest is all generated for free on this island by the palace. Another massive reason. Why would you want to, well, if you're a min-maxer, why would you want to have houses anywhere on an island if you don't need to? Next one, Department of Labour. I'm getting 60% plus productivity for production buildings within range of a trade union. So, I mean, most of the other production islands, if I was using Old World or Cape Islands for production, this would be the one that I was used. So this is not vastly important. But yeah, I'm getting an extra 50% productivity from electricity and a 60% plus productivity from production. So I'm getting 100%, 10% productivity. This one, as I just said, if I was making these telephones on another island, I would definitely use that boost, the plus 60 and plus 50, because they take up so much space. It's an extra 110% productivity. I've got the added bonus, because the palace is on the island with these, I am using this one, Department of Welfare. I'll get a 60 plus area of influence for all public buildings, plus an extra, I'm choosing, plus the extra 15 area of influence for power plants. Now, how big Crown Falls is, let's see. I'm running this with 6 electric power plants. That's all. 6. If we find one, they blend in well. You can see how big an area they cover. This one here is covering all of this. This one. All of this. This one. This one. I've then got 2 up here. This one mainly for these. And this one. So yeah, the whole of Crown Falls is running off 6 electric power plants. That's it. It's no hassle. You're not. I mean, if I was using the plus electricity boost on an island making these telephones, I couldn't have then this boost, which increases the area of influence of public buildings and the power plants. Which means on a big island, I mean, let's look at one that doesn't use this. If we go to the old world and go to this one. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 power plants on this island that don't use that range boost from the palace. So the amount of oil plants that I'm having on Crown Falls, I would need more than that on one island just making a telephone. So it's absolutely bonkers. Combining the electricity boost with the range boost that you get from the Department of Welfare is massive. Another really good reason why you would use this as your industrial island. The next boost is the Department of Trade. I'll get 1,200 island storage per harbour master's office. I mean, I haven't got that many connected. They need to be connected to a road. So at the minute, I've got 1, 2. I don't know why this doesn't count. Oh, there's a harbour master's office inside there, isn't there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only got 4, but that's an extra 4,800 island storage for free. It's crazy. I mean, look, I could easily jiggle these around, fit another 1 in. I mean, if I was clever, I could put 1 here. I could probably fit 3 on this bit of coastline here. I could easily jiggle these around and have 1, 2, 3, another 3 more. So you could probably have 6 in total. That's like nearly 7,000 island storage for free. For an island like this, where I'm dealing with big numbers, I mean, I've got 1,000 tons being made a minute, sorry, of suits alone. We have a quick look at production. I've got 30 tons of bikes, 1,057 tons of suits being made a minute, 520 telephones, 700 boots a minute. I mean, we're talking big numbers here. I've got 700 tons a minute of pigs coming into this island. About 600 tons a minute of grain to be shipped off elsewhere. It's ridiculous. Coal, I've got about 400 tons of coal coming in a minute. Let's have a look at trade routes. Let's go in this one. I've got everything organised, as you would imagine. Cape Coal, I've got 376 tons of coal coming in a minute from various islands. That will be up to full at the minute. I need in a bit. I need 550. So I'll be able to do away with this. Just use the mines for that. But yeah, digressing as always. Coupling everything together. Main reason why you would do something like this. All the boosts, the extra storage, the extra spread from the extra cover from your buildings, the extra attractiveness, just makes everything easier. Yeah, as I say, I'm going to need a couple of little zoos taking up this bit down here, which isn't much use. The rest of the attractiveness has come from town halls, which is, they're just buried in amongst the production. I'll say just buried. You have no idea how long. This took me to find a really good way of doing these out. The only way I could do it was to have the town halls going diagonally, and then the trade unions going horizontally. Exactly. I mean, there's a reason for this. These are clipping as well, so they had to be in this formation. But again, we're digressing. But this took me an awful long time to work out a real good layout for these town halls, because I didn't want them to be in the way of where the telephone manufacturers were being clipped. You can see 1, 2. I think there was only 1 or 2. All of these are being clipped. Look, telephone, 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 and the top one's telephone, telephone. This is the only one, I think, if I remember correctly, that was in the way, that was causing me a hassle. So, as I said, it took me an awful long time to work this out. Oh, look, I can get that one clipped. Get that one clipped as well. So we can add a little bit of extra production there. Maybe delete some of these down the bottom here that aren't doing so well. But yeah, that is, as I say, the palace, having the palace on this island alone would be enough to do it. But the main reason is the fact that I've managed to fit it all in. So hope you've enjoyed this. That was part 1. That is why you would do this. A lot of people were asking that on Reddit and Facebook. Why would you do this? Why would you not use it for your main capital? Well, there you go. One main reason, the palace. 2 massive reasons, the space. Palace and its boosts, and the space. If you take anything from this, that's why you would do it. Because you can have all the palace boosts, and you've got the space to cram everything on. In the next video, we're going to start talking about production. So we'll be going over the telephones, the boots, suits, cabs. I don't really need to go over the cabs. I've done a video on these cab production. I'll move this from its own island to over here. The main reason I did that is because I was making so many steam motors as byproducts. I mean, if we have a look, I'm making 70 tons of steam motors as byproducts from production lines that I didn't need to have any other production for them at all. That's feeding these 4 cab production lines, which are all clipped, making enough for, I'm at about 420,000 investors at the minute. And the cabs are making 30. So if we do it all islands, yeah, I'm making double the amount of cabs that I need for the investors at the minute. So future-proofed. Same with the push bikes. I've planned ahead for probably 500,000-600,000 investors. So yeah, next video, as I said, we'll go over the telephones, suits and boots. And then after that, we'll go over logistics. How I organise my stuff to an island this big, how I know what's going on, how I label things inside groups, and yeah, just generally how I deal with the whole debacle of having this much production on one island. I mean, the suit production alone, when it's in full swing, requires 100 ships. That is to feed it and then ship it off. So just go, you get an idea of the scale of things. But yeah, as for now, as always, that has been me, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one when we start talking about production. Cheers, thanks for watching.